Engineer Walter Mzembi. I'm the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry for the Republic of Zimbabwe. I'm here leading a delegation of 5 people to the World Travel and Tourism Council Summit.
Great. What do you hope to gain from visiting WTTC this year?
Well, first and foremost is the networking that is leveraged through these summits. I recall that my first attendance was in Florianopolis. It was at that summit that I made contact with UNWTO, with WTTC, leading to our assumption of office in the UNWTO Executive Council in Kazakhstan. It all started with the WTTC summit meeting in Brazil. But most importantly, we are here because the American market is our number one international source market. And we are coming here to really go into it deeper and look at the law of diminishing returns. What we are getting out of it is not a result of the effort that we are putting into this market. So we've decided to come and really do a roadshow beyond the WTTC summit, but most importantly to first interact with the world industry leadership in travel and tourism, which I have seen today. A lot of very key players in the industry that we hope to network with and advance our agenda as a country. I'm sure you recall that out of the WTTC's own indicators of growth in the industry, Zimbabwe is billed as the second fastest growing tourism economy by GDP contribution, second only to China in the next decade, 2010 to 2021, growing at 8.2%. These are not my statistics. They are statistics derived from this very WTTC itself.
Well, with tourism growing so fast, can you share some of the new advancements that are happening in Zimbabwe with travel and tourism?
Well, we have a room stock in terms of numbers of up to about 16,000 beds. And the problem that was being raised today by various industry players, that our problem is that of overcapacity. It relates to capacity utilization. Are we loading it 100%? Are we at 50%? Are we at 60%? I think where we are going is really to make sure that we load it, the load factor is up to 100%. Then we can see about expansion. But going forward, obviously, the product now needs new additions, which are consistent with international best practice, international standards. And I would hope that in the future we are able to learn from what I'm seeing here in Las Vegas and recreate the same sort of menu, entertainment menu and hoteling menu for the Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, which is the only wonder of the world that we have in Southern Africa.
Great. Now, uniting the travel industry to address important issues and challenges is one of the key focuses of WTTC. Is this a realistic goal?
Yes, it is. It is indeed. I always find the thematic issues around WTTC very, very practical. And today there were a lot of practical issues that were raised, the comparisons between what is happening in the East, quite some serious lessons from China, from the BRIC countries. The domestic market is driving their own tourism economies. But when they want growth, they go outside the domestic economies. They could as well just say we are happy with what we have at domestic level, but when you want to drive growth, you must go outside your borders. And equally in our region in Southern Africa, if we are selling the integrated regional product between what is happening in Southern Africa, south of the equator, we can drive a population of 400 million. But when we want growth, we must look up to Europe, we must look up to the BRIC countries, we must look up to Asia, China, a new entrant in the market. And I think these are the lessons really that we are getting. But also to say that some of the issues that are being raised by the tourism planners today, issues relating to climate change and its vagaries on the tourism economy, we don't quite experience that where we come from in Southern Africa. In fact, we are very lucky that Zimbabwe, for example, has been adjudged to be the most habitable country in the world by the World Climate Agency. This is an opportunity for us, especially when you look at what is happening in Indonesia, what is happening in Japan, what is happening elsewhere, even here in the United States, in terms of natural calamities. We don't have that. What we have in Southern Africa, nearer to climate change and these vagaries, is drought, which we can mitigate through irrigation development. So we have to package that aspect of climatability, good weather, habitability in the good weather that we have, the seasons that we have, and showcase them to the world.
Great. And then, as WTTC points out, good performance on sustainability is becoming more closely linked to good business performance. Is this a statement that you can endorse, and what specifically is Zimbabwe doing to power sustainable growth?
Well, we have our tourism is riding on the back of natural habitats, on our biodiversity. I would say that what we want from the world going forward, looking at the green economy issues, is a plan or a model that continues to advance and to position our natural habitat, ecosystems, and our biodiversity as a model that we are holding in trust for the entire world. I'm here in Las Vegas. I've been to other countries. What I see are just concrete juncos all over the shore. And what drives tourism in our direction in Southern Africa is really the experience that Europeans and Americans and other people want to have in our natural biodiversity. So that's where the sustainability comes from. So it will be our ability to inculcate a model that promotes an ecosystem where flora and fauna are able to coexist. As way back as it was in the Garden of Eden. Africa is the last Garden of Eden that we have, and the world has a responsibility to make sure that biodiversity is well managed, is managed on a sustainable basis for posterity. And it is really what we are offering in tourism in Southern Africa.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for your time and for talking to Breaking Travel News. We wish you great success.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.